Have you ever opened your phone for just 2 minutes and somehow ended up feeling like your entire life is behind? Someone your age is richer than you, fitter than you, more attractive, more disciplined, more successful, more loved. And the worst part is, even when you know comparing yourself is toxic, you still keep doing it. Why? Why does your brain keep dragging you into this endless cycle of measuring your life against people you barely even know? And why does it feel almost impossible to stop? Today, we're going to break down the real psychology behind comparison addiction. Not the surface level advice like just focus on yourself, because clearly that doesn't work. We'll go much deeper than that. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 hidden psychological triggers that keep you trapped in comparison, why social media is only part of the problem, and the final reason, the one most people never talk about, might completely change the way you see yourself forever. Because the truth is, comparison isn't actually about other people. It's about something much darker happening inside you. Let's get into it. Your brain was designed to compare, literally designed for it. Thousands of years ago, comparison helped humans survive. Your ancestors constantly scanned other people to understand their own place in the tribe. Were they respected, rejected, safe, fallen behind? Comparison wasn't vanity. It was survival. Because in ancient human societies, being excluded from the group could mean death. And your brain still operates with that same ancient wiring. That's why being behind hurts so much emotionally. Your nervous system doesn't interpret it as a small inconvenience. It interprets it as danger. When you see someone more successful than you, your brain often translates it into something much more personal. If they're ahead, maybe I'm losing value. And that feeling can become addictive. Most people think comparison happens because they lack confidence. But often, comparison actually creates the lack of confidence. The more you compare, the more your brain searches for evidence that you're inadequate. And once your brain starts looking for that evidence, it finds it everywhere. Suddenly, every interaction becomes a ranking system. You walk into a room and unconsciously measure who looks better than you. You open Instagram and measure lifestyles. You listen to friends talk about achievements and immediately calculate your own worth. Without realizing it, you stop living life and start auditing yourself. And this is where the trap gets dangerous. Because comparison doesn't motivate most people. It paralyzes them. At first, it feels productive. You think, maybe if I compare myself enough, I'll finally improve. But over time, your brain stops seeing growth as exciting and starts seeing life as a constant test you're failing. That's why some people procrastinate after watching motivational content. That's why you can spend hours consuming self-improvement videos and still feel stuck. That's why seeing someone else succeed sometimes drains your energy instead of inspiring you. Your brain quietly turns another person's progress into proof of your inadequacy. And social media makes this infinitely worse. Not because people are fake. That's the obvious answer. The real problem is that your brain was never meant to process this many lives at once. 100 years ago, you compared yourself to maybe a few dozen people in your village or town. Now, in 1 hour, you can compare yourself to millionaires, athletes, models, entrepreneurs, artists, influencers, and people who appear genetically blessed in every possible way. Your brain treats all of them as members of your tribe. But you were never meant to emotionally compete with thousands of people every single day. And here's something even more disturbing. Your brain doesn't compare fairly. It compares your behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel. You compare your confusion to someone else's carefully edited certainty, your bad days to their best moments, your unfinished chapter 1 to their polished chapter 20. Of course, you'll feel inadequate in that situation. Anyone would. But there's another layer most people never notice. Comparison becomes strongest when your identity is unclear. Think about it. The moments when you compare yourself the most are usually the moments when you feel lost. When you don't fully know who you are, what you want, or where your life is going. So your brain starts borrowing direction from other people. You see someone successful, and suddenly you think maybe you should live like them. You see someone attractive, and suddenly you think maybe you should look like them. You see someone productive, and suddenly your entire lifestyle feels wrong. But the problem is, none of those desires may actually belong to you. A lot of comparison isn't envy. It's confusion. And confused people are extremely vulnerable to imitation. That's why so many people spend years chasing goals they never truly wanted. They copied someone else's definition of success without realizing it. And eventually, even if they achieve those goals, they still feel empty, because the human mind can achieve things while the soul remains disconnected from them. Now here's where this becomes really dangerous. Comparison slowly destroys your ability to experience your own life. You stop appreciating your progress because someone else is further ahead. You stop enjoying small wins because they don't seem impressive enough. You stop noticing your uniqueness because your attention is locked onto everyone else. And over time, your self-worth becomes outsourced, meaning your value no longer comes from within. It depends entirely on how you rank against other people. That's an exhausting way to live, because there will always be someone richer, someone smarter, someone younger, someone more talented, someone who appears more fulfilled. Comparison is a game you mathematically cannot win, and yet millions of people unknowingly dedicate their entire emotional lives to playing it. But now we need to talk about the final reason you can't stop comparing yourself. And honestly, this is the one that changes everything. Most comparison is not about wanting someone else's life. It's about grieving the life you think you could have had. Listen to that again. It's about grieving the life you think you could have had. When you see someone thriving, sometimes the pain isn't actually about them. It activates a deeper fear inside you. What if I wasted my potential? What if I'm becoming the wrong version of myself? What if it's too late for me? That's why comparison feels so emotionally intense. It's connected to regret, identity, fear, and unrealized possibility. And the more disconnected you become from your own values, the louder comparison gets. Because comparison thrives in internal silence. When you don't deeply know yourself, the world tells you who to become. So how do you stop? Not by forcing yourself to never compare again. That's unrealistic. You stop by changing the meaning behind comparison. Instead of asking, am I better than them? Start asking, is this actually meaningful to me? That single shift changes everything, because the goal isn't to become superior to others. The goal is to become aligned with yourself. And alignment feels radically different from comparison. When you're aligned, someone else's success stops feeling like an attack. You stop panicking about timelines. You stop trying to win invisible competitions nobody asked you to enter. You begin living from intention instead of reaction. And ironically, that's usually when real confidence finally appears. Not because you became the best, but because you stopped abandoning yourself every time someone else shined. So the next time you catch yourself comparing your life to someone online, pause for a second and ask yourself, do I actually want their life, or do I just want to feel valuable? Because those are two very different things. And understanding that difference might be the beginning of your freedom. If this video spoke to you, make sure to subscribe to Mind Beneath and comment below with one thing you're tired of comparing yourself about. Sometimes awareness is where change begins. See you in the next one.